Josh, your screen is black.
Yeah. Sweet.
Oh, you're just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, now I
Got it.
have to remove my camera. Oh,
Oh, even worse there. It's all right. Josh, we got
can you
time.
still hear me? Can you still
Oh,
hear
I can
me?
hear you. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right. Interesting.
Well, how about you exit and then come back in? Try that. Good old plug out situation.
Let me see what I can do.
Sounds good. We're just gonna let people to funnel in, Josh. Let them funnel. Let them funnel in as we get ready. Okay. This is the content you guys want to see, which I love. Um, what's up? How's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling after that sucky loss? We'll do our normal intro for the audio listeners as soon as Josh gets back. But this is I guess par for the course. Is that the expression? As the Penguins suck, and so does this podcast. So does this podcast. Interesting. All right. How's everyone doing? What's your thoughts on tonight's game? What's your thoughts? Put it in the chat as we wait for Josh because his internet's terrible. Oh, we got him. We got him back. Welcome. Welcome. I appreciate you joining. If you guys have any thoughts about tonight's game, or if you guys want to talk about anything in specifics, because there's rants coming, we're tired, we want to get this crap, all that, put it in the comments below. Whether you're on Twitter, whether you're on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, put in your comment, and we could see it and we could talk about it. Onyx already did, and it's a compliment. So at least his shirt is cool. Good band. Yeah, Greta Van Fleet. Shout out Greta Van Fleet. Saw him in Cleveland, and that's the band that we went to go see, where I never want to go to Cleveland ever again. Besides the concert, you know, Cleveland sucks. So they're coming. Actually, we bought those tickets for what is it? We bought those tickets to go see them, thinking that was their tour. But then they announced an extension to their world tour, which includes Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh? Sure.
So I could have not even gone to the worst place in the world and just waited for them to come here. But now we're going again. So I guess that's bonus for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
My mind, every time you mention them, my mind automatically goes to Fred Van Vliet. Fred Van Vliet.
I don't know.
He's a basketball player, so it's just like that's where my mind goes. But yeah.
Did you? All right. Fun fact about the band.
Yeah.
The name. Mm-hmm. It was a version. It's something Van Fleet or whatever. Was a old woman in their town, and they were like, "Sounds like a dope band name," so they kind of just took it.
Kind of like Andy in Parks and Rec when like he just hears something, he goes, "No, band name, call it."
or he's like, "You know what? Our band name changed. Our band name changed."
Yeah. Rat mouse, mouse rat.
Yeah, that's right. You know what? That sounds better. Yeah, we're switching band names. Anyway, hello, welcome. Actually, let's give a dramatic pause, Josh. Just gaze into the viewer's eyes real quick. Hello, and welcome to the Penguins Collective Podcast. My name is Louie.
My name is Josh.
Oh, and we're two brothers who we just love it to talk about hockey.
Especially these Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, let's talk about those Pittsburgh Penguins. But before we do, welcome to the stream. Whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. We appreciate you. Or if you're listening to a later date on Spotify or wherever you find your favorite podcast, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for listening. It's going to be a journey, okay? It's going to be a ride. It's going to be a roller coaster, similar to how the Pittsburgh Penguins are playing. So let's talk about it. Absolutely. Was that my cat? Freaked me out. I saw it in the back, and I was like, what was that? I thought I shut him out, but I didn't.
He sneaked on in.
He
snuck on in.
So Josh
snucked.
He snuck. He sneaked. Look, he's trying to get out. All right, Josh.
Yeah.
What did you think of tonight's game?
Nice. Love how you did that. That was nice. Very smooth. Tonight's game went exactly how I expected tonight to go. Another loss for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Another poor performance by them. Another poor, hurt everything though. Poor power play performance. Everything just kind of sucked about tonight, and that was exactly what I was expecting. And to be quite honest, that's what I'm expecting on Sunday when we play the Avalanche. So
we're gonna get smoked by the Avalanche.
Yeah, everyone talks about like the
Absolutely
different stages of grief that you go through, like at the time of loss or whatever. So
sure.
I'm like, I don't know all of them, so I'm not gonna like rattle them all off. But I know at one point it's acceptance, and like that's where I'm at.
That's
like
today.
With this team.
Well,
no, it's not today. It's been that for me. But I'm just saying, like, because like I was listening to someone talk about like the different stages of grief, and I was just like yeah, like in terms of the Pittsburgh Penguins, like this is where I'm at. Acceptance, like that's who they are. This is the team for 2023, 2024, and they're not making the playoffs. And I saw someone put in the chat that said the guy's name, Celebrini. It's Celebrini time.
That's the supposed first round draft pick. Tank for the first, baby. Tank for the first. Listen,
the ping pong balls determine our destiny.
Yeah, go our way. Listen, the Pittsburgh Penguins, talk about acceptance. Watching this game and keeping my eyes on the Carolina Hurricanes and Capitals game, because I was hoping for the Carolina Hurricanes to demolish the Capitals. They won in overtime. Capitals won in overtime. They got 2 points. So there is and they're in the second wild card spot, I may add. So their distance
have they been on a little surge here?
A little surge, a little kind of streak. So they were in the position when we were 5 points out, and now we're further.
Us. Yeah.
About a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, they were right above us, and they just kept on winning. And we kept on losing. And now we're second to last in the Metropolitan. We got no points tonight, and Washington got 2. So we're not going anywhere. Like if you talk about acceptance, talk about the process of grief, to me tonight was the introduction of the acceptance, where I was watching this team and I'm watching the Carolina game and I'm like, it's over. It's done. Washington won. We're playing like trash. There's nothing for us. We're done. So who is it come down to? I'll say one little factoid that no one's really talking about, Josh. We're on the cutting edge of this. Tristan Jarry has got pulled in his last 3 starts.
Yeah, I don't think that's breaking news. I think it's quite obvious.
Well,
we've all seen it.
We all seen it, yes, but Josh, we're the ones who acknowledge it.
Yeah, it hasn't been good. I mean, if you follow the podcast, I'm a Tristan Jarry truther, and it's hard right now. It is.
Do I come back as a Tristan Jarry hater? Because in the beginning of the year, I said, whoa, Tristan Jarry, you're a new man. You have changed my mind. You have proved me wrong, which is what I always ask of hockey players if I give them any kind of critique. Prove me wrong. And he did. And I was like, man, I'm on board with Tristan Jarry being our goaltender. Well, now, March 22nd, 2024, I'm starting to creep back to where I was last season, where I'm like, start Nedeljkovic for the rest of the season. We know we're not making the playoffs. If we're going to trade him or if we're going to re-sign him, let's see what Nedeljkovic can do. Start him for the rest of the season. Make him the starter. NFL does it all the time. We talk about it on this podcast. NFL is king in the sports world. How many times you see a quarterback struggling 1-2 games? What happens, Josh? Bench. New rookie coming in. He's going to be the starter if they know they're not making the playoffs. The Pittsburgh Penguins are in that position. Bench Jarry for the rest of the season and let Nedeljkovic go. We pulled Jarry in the last 3 games. He's let in soft goals, bad defense, bad power, which has been the storyline of the whole entire season. Don't get me wrong. But now the goaltending sucks from Jarry, which is new. So that's something where I'm like, you know what? You got to do something. We thought Graves not being in the lineup tonight was a response to the bad defense.
It is not.
It's not. He's having a kid, which congratulations to the Graves family. But I thought it was a little ballsy move by Mike Sullivan. I thought he walked into Dallas with his big old kahunas going, guess what? Graves didn't even come with us.
Like South Park in the wheelbarrow?
I left him in freaking Pittsburgh. That's what I thought he was doing. And I was like, whoa, Sully, way to go, my guy. But he's like, no, he's having a kid. And I was like, come on, Sullivan. I love Sullivan, but it's getting kind of hard to defend him. It's getting real hard to defend him when the whole world is screaming, fire Mike Sullivan. And I'm like, well, no, you got to give him some chances here. And then I saw him do this supposedly big ball move, and I was like, he's benching Graves. But he didn't, because if Graves wasn't having his first child, or I don't know if it's his first child or not. But having a child nonetheless, he would be here. So
I think it is his first.
Well, which is why I understand it's a really big deal. But yeah, silver lining, which is where I always come in. We may be stooges talking about hockey, but I will always own up when something happens. Malkin played great tonight. Malkin played phenomenal.
Question though. Okay.
Yeah, Josh, go ahead.
So that second line obviously was carrying us tonight. They brought the energy. They had, I think, both goals. Not sponsored, by the way. But they carried the game tonight. But I didn't like Malkin. I don't know if I'm just not used to this new Malkin, but it just seems like it's when our backs are up against the wall that he like plays like how he did tonight. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I wouldn't say backs. I know what you're saying.
Like, it's like
I know what you're saying.
It's like the other two guys are doing really well, and now the team as a whole is underperforming. So now Malkin is like, okay, well, if the whole team is underperforming and the other two guys on my line are doing good, let me step up now too. Because I felt like it was like in the second and third that he was like really playing well.
Yeah, so it's funny you say that, which I've noted. We've talked about this. Whenever it's usually when we're playing either a bad team or we're deflated. And then Malkin's like, I guess I'll step up now.
Yeah.
But like, listen, it's when Sid is tired is where, from carrying this team, I may add, where Malkin comes in and goes, oh, yeah. I got the A on my chest. I'll play really hard. But granted, and kudos to Johnny Thunder in the chat, which will throw up his comment right now. Miracle. A few guys actually finished off beautiful Malkin passes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which who needs Jake Gensel, my guy? Because Jake Gensel is tearing it up in Carolina right now, apparently. But we talked about this in the last episode.
It's like an ex-girlfriend. You don't
talk about it.
You don't talk about it. You don't look at their profile.
Listen, Josh, I was going to make a tweet about that because we've all become Carolina Hurricanes fans by extension right now, which I despise. Okay? Yeah. Like you said, it's done. We're over with. All I'm saying is, I was just trying to say, who needs Jake Gensel? We got Michael Bunting now. Bunting is not afraid to get in the dirty areas, which is what we've been asking for from management for how long? Now we got Bunting, and we're actually producing. Like, that Malkin pass with Jake Gensel on the line or Riley Smith and Raquel would have never done that. So,
yeah.
Kudos on Bunting.
And I understand. We always joke that, like, the Penguins organization and everyone at Pittsburgh Sportsnet, like, will listen to us. I'm pretty sure Mike Rupp listened to us because he was like, because he said,
thanks for watching, Ruppy.
There's people out there comparing Michael Bunting to Patrick Hornquist, and that's kind of what he is. And it's like, yeah, that's what we've been saying since the trade, and that's what we were saying prior. Before the trade deadline, before we were in talks of getting anyone.
This was like remotely, the second month of the season.
Yeah.
We were like, we need to get a guy.
Yeah. So
we needed a guy like Patrick Hornquist. And then what did Kyle Dubas say? I'm doing one trade, and it's to get him Patrick Hornquist.
Yeah.
And here we are, and he's scoring. He's doing a good job. He's playing excellent. We thought he would succeed on the first line, but O'Connor decided to step up even more than what he's been doing all season. And he got the spot on the first line, which I love. I love that current first line right now. I think they're playing really well. But that second line definitely carried us with Bunting, Raquel, and Malkin. And I think they looked really good. I think they looked really
goal
great.
Was sweet.
Yeah, Josh, it's kind of thing because it's a thing where all the negative is in my head. So I'm like, how did we score that second goal? Is that the Malkin?
So it was Malkin wrap around, but pass
Raquel. Back to Bunting.
No, but that was the first goal. It was kind of so the first goal, Malkin wraps around, but passes it back. And that's what got Ottinger out of position, and Bunting just like tapped it in. This one, Malkin kind of did a wraparound again, but brought it to the front of the net where Raquel was. And Raquel just like top shelved it over Ottinger. Ottinger's leg. So it was nice because, like, I mean, beginning of the season, Raquel was snake bitten. I mean, he couldn't do anything. Couldn't buy a goal. Nothing was working for him. And like like something like tonight, like that nice little feed from Malkin wasn't going in. He was missing that, or he would, airmail it. This perfect execution. And I'm sure that's kind of what Johnny Thunder was, which great name, which I think that's what he's kind of alluding to when he's saying that actually finishing off
his passes.
Malkin's passes, because Raquel wasn't in the beginning of the year. So maybe, too little too late, but I mean, at least we can acknowledge that it's starting to click a little bit.
4 months too late, but hey, love the effort, boys. Right. It is sad, definitely sad, just because everything is happening way too late for the Penguins, so the season is done. I don't know how many times we could talk about this. Even before the podcast, me and Josh were kind of just joking and saying, I'm getting real tired of talking about the same exact thing. Same exact thing. The only difference is Malkin played really great tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, I feel bad for Malkin almost, because the days where I criticize him, right, is just that is the games that we need to win and stuff like that. The day he plays great is a game that's a throwaway game because we lost, and it doesn't matter because we're not making the playoffs.
Yeah.
So he doesn't catch a break, because if we won this game, I would be like, wow, Malkin helped us get a win. Wow, are we closer in the point system? Are we not? Now it's like, I mean, Malkin played great. Cool. What else can we talk about? Jar getting pulled again?
Yeah.
Delkovich playing so much better. Crosby looking physically defeated. I'm not saying he is a bad player in any sense of the form, so don't you dare clip this. What I'm saying is Crosby looks defeated. They pan to him. He's slamming the doors after a power play. You could tell he's frustrated. There was an instance where Brian Russ couldn't finish a play, and you could tell he was angry on the bench. And Crosby was trying to calm him down, saying it's all right. But you could tell he like, this is maybe too, I don't know if this is even a good comparison, but it's like Saving Private Ryan, where you're trying to calm someone down, but like he's hurt too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a situation where it's like, dude, we're all hurting right now, but I have to be the comforter for the guy who's hurt more. You know what I'm saying? But we're all broken. So he's like,
that situation literally happened right after Crosby's situation. So Crosby is obvious, is like definitely still in his feelings, but now his line mate, his now new number 2, is right there, and
he's just mad.
He
is furious,
and he's tapping his leg. I know, man. I know.
I know. Like, just keep going. Just keep going. And you see the eyes of Crosby and just go, it's all right, man. It's like,
I want to go back and watch it and try to read his lips, because like obviously Crosby is so used to everyone having the camera on him. Like, he's good at like making sure that there's no like soundbite or that possibility of reading lips or whatever. But even if it's literally just we got to keep going or something stupid like that, I'm curious to know what he said exactly, because he tapped his leg and he said a couple things. Like, it wasn't just I know, there was like a sentence or two.
There was a little bit of leadership there from Sid, but my point is, like, which is great by Sid, which, to be fair, kudos to Sid for
that's why he's
in the hard times being a leader. But also, I'm just saying, like, you see him defeated.
Yeah,
you could tell it was 4-2, and you just say, like, all right, hey, we just gotta keep on going. Like, it's almost like he bought into the, if you say it enough, you'll believe it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what Sid is doing with the whole playoff push. Like, hey, we're working hard. We're turning the page. And I made the joke, how many pages are in this book? Because it seems like we're getting close to the end and we're just skimming through here. And you could just tell he's out of it. Not physically. Like, he's still playing well. It's just when we get deflated so soon and so easily.
Well, I think just look at tonight's game, though. I mean, we scored first. Bunting
started off
first.
Strong,
so good, and then we literally just let them back into the game by scoring.
Yep.
And then, was it in the second period? Yeah, because we ended the first 1-1. So it was the second period where it's just all unraveled. As soon as Jamie Benn scored, I think it was the power play ones that started, it was like, okay, it's like we didn't know that was going to happen. And then we just let them walk down a minute later. I think it's just over a minute. They score again. And now it's 3-1. And it's like, like everyone's just shell shocked on the bench. And it's just like, what now? What now? And that's kind of where I feel like a coaching change needs to happen, because we've talked about it before. It doesn't seem like Dubas is going to like sell off all these guys he brought in: Graves, Smith, Eller, Achari. I think he's going to hold on to him. He's going to say, I think he's going to say it was coaching. And that's why I think that a coaching change needs to happen, so that when something like that happens, it's a new voice in their ear that can like hopefully get them going.
Not only a new voice, I think it's something along the lines of a new routine, a new format, because
a new gameplay.
Like I said, I love Mike Sullivan. I would take a bull for him. I always say that. Going forward, I kind of agree now. During this game, it kind of all hit me like a sack of bricks, where it was just, we're not making the playoffs. Maybe it's time for a coaching change.
Yeah.
Just because, to your point, we need a new voice. We need a new format. We need new something, because we call a timeout in this game. It's 4-2. We have Nedeljkovic out. It's an empty net. We call a timeout. They keep on missing the empty netter. And what do? Pass the puck, dump and chase in our own, like in the offensive zone? That's the brilliant idea behind Todd Reirden. And hey, guys, I know we're down by 2. But trust me, when you get into the zone, and we have an empty net, by the way, just dump it in and someone will get it. Oh, and defensemen, make sure you're hugging on those boards, because everyone's going to be wrapping it back up. So make sure you be there. It's just kind of like, that's our game plan, down by 2. That's what we're going with.
Yeah.
Not only is Todd Reirden absolutely clueless, but Mike Sullivan needs to kind of step in and be like, give me the clipboard. Please. Step aside.
Yeah, but that's the thing that like we're not going to see, because A, they're friends, and B, Todd, all the assistant coaches are literally just repeating whatever Sullivan says in terms of the game plan. So because Todd Reirden isn't going to pull up the clipboard and say, you know what, screw the dump and chase, we're doing this. Because guess what? Then Mike Sullivan is going to take the clipboard and say, no, you're not doing that. Like, this is the game plan. This is what we're doing. So like, it's a trickle down. Todd Reirden is just, now this is not a, Todd Reirden
we
is
do not
good
know
coach
this
type thing.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that he should be the head coach now. I'm just saying he's literally just following orders. And I do not, I don't like this game, this style of game anymore. It doesn't work. And like, they kept talking about it all game, and I'm just like, man, like, when is that going to be us? They talk about the draft that the Stars had, where they went, I think the first 3 rounds, they have their starting goaltender, starting defenseman, starting center in the same draft. We need to hit like that. Like, when are we going to get a hit like that?
It better be this season, because
it better be.
Listen,
or at least back-to-back good drafts. Like, if Braden or Brandon, if Yeager is supposed to project the way that he's projecting and he hits, we just need to get another hit. And if we tank all the way to get Celebrini and he hits the way that he's projected to hit, fine. I'm fine with it. We don't need 1 draft. I'm cool with 2 drafts back-to-back years. But I don't know, man.
Here's what I think. Well, here, let me ask you. Do we make a cup run next year? Do we make the playoffs next year?
The offseason is going to be very telling. Very telling.
No. I'm just saying right now.
With this roster?
With this coaching staff, do we make the playoffs next year?
There's a part of me that says yes, because the thing is, this roster was so new. so new this year. We have a completely new bottom 9. Well, not bottom 9, bottom 6. Completely new bottom 6, except Jeff Carter.
Yeah.
And a few new pieces up in the top 6. A brand new, top 2 pairings on defense.
Yeah.
I think you saw it. It took months for Sullivan just to figure out which pairing he was going to stick with on the defense and what kind of lines he was going with for the forwards. So I think the team just needed time to gel. And if you give them an entire offseason, I don't know. And that's why I kind of think I'm saying I would like to see a coaching change, but I would not be surprised at all if we go into the 2024-2025 season, Mike Sullivan as the head coach, and you see Rust, Crosby, O'Connor, Bunting, Raquel, Malkin, Lars Eller,
Yep.
Puustinen. You see Achari, Harkins. Who else am I missing?
Carter.
Puljujärvi. But you're going to see... what's that?
Carter.
No, he's definitely going to retire after this year.
I don't know.
Done. But
I don't know. Anyway,
you're going to see these guys. You're going to see Carlson and Graves. Or POJ. See, I don't know. That's the thing. He keeps playing with it.
So here's the thing.
With it.
I think, and I know what you're getting at. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we have the same roster that we did today.
Yep.
October. First game in October.
Yeah. Maybe 1 or 2 new guys, and that's it.
But here's what I definitely think we're going to make the playoffs this year. Now, whether or not we make some changes
next year,
next season, obviously next season, I have hope that we're going to make the playoffs next year. Here's why. I think at most, we're getting rid of Todd Reirden and Mike Vellucci. Because Dubas speaks so highly of Mike Sullivan. I think he would just keep Mike Sullivan and get rid of everyone else. That means Andy Chiodo as well, goaltending coach. Yeah. Just to get rid of everyone except for Mike Sullivan and kind of redo that. That's the most minimal change with the same roster. But then I could also see fire sale happening at the Pittsburgh Penguins. I could see all the coaches gone. I could see the bottom 6 totally redone. I could see half the defensive pairs redone. And let's not forget, we have some prospects happening right now. Mm-hmm. We have some great prospects in the system. So,
and we're not even talking about Jack St. Ivany making his debut tonight, and he didn't look horrible.
Yeah,
what are you reading?
Johnny Thunder's newest chat. Sickening to think about how much Todd Reirden's.
Put it up.
Okay, all right. There you go. Sickening to think about how much Todd Reirden's ineptitude. Oh, I nailed it. Shouldn't second guess myself.
You got it.
I crushed it. Has cost us this season. Aside from the obvious, abysmal power play and shorthanded goals allowed, killed us too. Yeah. But see, here's the problem. A lot of people don't think it's Todd Reirden's fault. And that's another problem.
They go straight to Sullivan.
They go to Sullivan, or they go, that's a Carlson Letang mistake. And granted, half the time it's both. It's a Todd Reirden play and Letang fumbling with the puck, or Carlson fumbling with the puck, or whoever the defenseman at the time fumbling with the puck. Look at today. Todd Reirden drew up a play. Empty net. Puck came into our zone. And who fumbled the puck? But Carlson, with an empty net, fumbling the puck on our own boards as a wave of Stars players comes in, he gets overwhelmed, and he just has to wrap it around our boards. What? Costing us about 10 seconds, 10, 15 seconds, where we could have used that going up the other way. It's that's the situation where it's both people's faults. Todd Reardon's, because he clearly didn't draw up a good enough play where it was a nice breakout. And then Erik Karlsson once again fumbling the puck. So that's a situation where it's both of their faults. But I would love to see a rehaul. I would love for the core to stay together. And I mean Karlsson as well. I know there's trade rumors already about Karlsson out in Pittsburgh. There's rumors for Ottawa to get Erik Karlsson in the offseason. So, I mean, that's how bad the Penguins season is.
But
we thought we were going to get a cup, and we didn't even make the playoffs this season.
And that's fine if they want to entertain that. But I mean, it's the same thing as the trade deadline. You know, like realistically, Gensel was our only trade asset. Going into the offseason, realistically, Karlsson's our only trade asset. So if they are going to make any type of trade, it will involve Erik Karlsson. So
yeah, it's true.
I don't think they will, just because like this isn't a shot at Ottawa or anything like that, but just like
it is. Say it.
How is Erik Karlsson, based off of the play that we have seen this past year, going to put Ottawa over the edge? Like, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to sound like a jerk in any way whatsoever towards Ottawa, but like if I'm Erik Karlsson and I have a no movement clause, I'd probably say I'm going to stay in Pittsburgh because they have just as good or bad of a chance to win a cup as Ottawa does. You know? So
regardless of how it is, I don't think he has a say in the matter. I know he has a no movement clause, but I mean,
yeah, I understand the no movement clause.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like obviously Dubas can go to him and say, "Hey, like I need to do what's best for the team.
Yeah,
I need you to waive your no movement clause." Like I get it. It's literally like, you know what it is? It's like the guaranteed money in other sports contracts, minus baseball. Like basketball and football, like guaranteed money is not actually guaranteed. Like if you get hurt, you don't get that money. Like, you know what I mean? I've heard that say before. Like it's like guaranteed money is never really guaranteed. So no movement clause is never really actually no movement, unless if you're someone like
Crosby. Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I just want to say to all the people out there, we're never getting rid of Crosby. Just shut up about it.
And in my heart, I fully believe you. I fully agree with you. In my heart.
You don't though. You don't.
I do, because but I won't actually believe it until he resigns.
All right. So there's rumors already that they're in contract negotiations now.
Perfect. That's fine.
So, but what I'm just saying to that point, like everyone shut up about him going, oh, he's better off somewhere else and to win a cup. Like we should send him off to go win a cup. For what? Why don't we retool here? It's like, what's the point of getting a massive return for Sid and then hoping in 5 to 10 years we'll win a cup when we could just go out and go? We have Erik Karlsson, Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang. We could go win a cup. It's just, I'm sick and tired of people's attitude because that's all I see on the internet.
Yeah, and if I'm someone like Dubas, and I'm going to be trading top 3 talent in the NHL, I want equal return.
Which you're not going to get. Yeah.
Okay, but you need to try and get close. And
Yeah.
that's like same thing that he tried to do with Gensel. Draft picks, prospects, NHL ready players. Combination of all three. So you also have to think, if you're Crosby, no movement clause, someone else who, especially with his caliber, should be involved with the trade negotiations. Do you want to go to a team that is now depleted of assets? That if you don't win that
You're
year,
stuck. Yeah.
you're in the same exact situation that we're in now. So
Yeah, which
then
that's
why
not
do
going to
it?
happen. Yeah,
Just stay.
So, and I think
That's my thought process behind it.
Listen, we always go back to the reason why Dubas chose Pittsburgh. Okay, and let's be real, he chose Pittsburgh. Why did he choose Pittsburgh? He spoke with two people, Mike Sullivan and Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
To see where they were at mentally. Is Crosby ready for a semi-rebuild, ready to go back into a cup? I have to believe that Dubas asked him that question before taking the job. He had to. Because look what was happening around the NHL at the time of Dubas's release. Chicago Blackhawks with Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews. That was like a year prior to that. So he had to be like, if I come to Pittsburgh and I want to rebuild, I have to make sure Sid is okay with what I want to do. Because if he's not okay with it, I lose. I'm the GM who lost Sidney Crosby in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's you. So, like, I'm sure he had to come to Pittsburgh and go, Sid, I don't, it's not going to be a full rebuild. It's not. It's going to be a retooling, but a harsh retooling. Are you okay with that? I have to believe Sid would have been giving his blessing in some way or the other. Because, like you said, with a caliber like Sid, he has to be in the conversations about that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like,
Absolutely. Because I hate doing this all the time, but like you look at players like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, they have said that they were involved in the player acquisition conversations.
Yeah.
Because they want the guys that they know that will get the job done when their name is called.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Crosby. I wouldn't be surprised if Crosby's involved that way. But but again, his personality, same way. I wouldn't be surprised if he's hands off. Like he doesn't want to. I'm just going to stick to the ice. Just give me the puck, and I'll take care of my business.
I feel like he's more of a big picture. Like, give me big picture, vague understanding of what's going on. But I don't need to know the details. Because I think when people were like, with the whole Malkin re-signing, and he said, "Oh no, I wasn't involved." I think he was. I think he was asked about it, and I'm sure he gave his opinion. But he also, in the same breath, said, "Just tell me the big details, the big ones. Hey, are we keeping? Do you think we should keep Malkin?
I don't need to know numbers and
right. I don't need to be in a meeting more than 5 seconds. I think it's literally like, hey, Sid, do you think we could keep Malkin and make a cup run? Absolutely, dude. I would like to keep the core together. Boom. That was his involvement.
Yeah.
And I think that was his involvement. And Hextall went and, had to negotiate. And so that way, when people ask Sid, hey, were you involved? And no, like I gave my opinion, and that's where we're at. So I feel like that's knowing Sid's temperament. But then yet again, we don't know what he's like. Is he a business-minded guy who knows,
Yeah, I know.
When Sid comes on the podcast, we'll let you guys know. But
and that's one thing that's so like fascinating. That's why it was so cool to have Jansen on and just open up a little bit, just because it's like we don't get to see that side of these guys.
Yeah, like, what are they hot stoving about, Josh?
Yeah.
What are they hot stoving?
Yeah, exactly. Like we just don't get to see that side. Like we don't obviously if you subscribe to Pittsburgh Sportsnet or Sportsnet, whatever it is, and you watch the interviews with Dan Potash when they're eating burgers, like if you don't have that, you get nothing. You don't see
this
these
year,
guys.
we've caught on.
But it's not
There's
just this year. It's not just this year. It's past. Because think about how many interviews did Crosby do in the 18 years that he's been in the league? Like, it's not like he's had a full-blown, like, you know what I mean?
He's had, what, 2 documentaries on him? He's had, what, The Welcome Home and the other one?
What I'm saying is, like, from those, because I remember those that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Do you think you can get a good reading on who he is as a person outside of hockey?
I mean, no.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, but no, I just want to know, like, I love the being a fly on the wall in situations. So for me, I just want to be a fly on the wall when in the like this said, talking with management in the locker room. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like them coming up, Dubas is like, hey man, I got to trade Jake. What do you think?
I don't think it's done in the locker room, but yeah.
You know what I mean. I didn't know. An office in the Cranberry. Like, what do you want me to say? So, like, I'm sure Sid's walking around. Dubas walks up to him, says, hey, we got to trade Gensel. What do you think? I just want, or it's more business minded where it's like, hey, I want to give you a heads up first. I'm trading Jake. And it's kind of like Sid gets to say his piece because it's Sidney Crosby. But then I don't know, because from what the temperament what I get from Sid is that he just wants to be one with the boys. Like, he just wants to be part of the team. He doesn't want to be involved. Sorry, I hit my desk. He doesn't want to be involved, but I feel like we push him into that position of being involved. And I feel like he gets cornered. I don't know. All I know is Sid is pissed this year. So
I think all year, like you talk about that meeting that Dubas had with Crosby when he took the job. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Dubas laid it out for Crosby, but 2 avenues. And he said, okay, if we're in contention for a cup, we're gonna keep Gensel.
Yeah.
On a short term, like, rental, like, for the remainder of the year. But if I can't get him to resign at the beginning of the year, he's gone.
He's gone. I have to make moves.
I think that because now everything is hindsight. Obviously, everything is hindsight.
Yeah.
Because look how hard Crosby came out in the beginning of the year. I mean, he was a man on fire in the beginning of the year.
I feel like he truly believed that we were going on a cup run. Go ahead.
No, I think he wanted one last run with Jake. I think that's what it was. And it was the conversation of, if we have a push, we'll keep him if he's not willing to resign. Obviously, the premise is he's not going to resign. Okay?
Because if he resigns, then it doesn't matter.
It's whatever. It doesn't matter. If he doesn't resign and we're making a push for the cup, we'll hold on to him. Like, we'll take that hit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we'll lose on the prospects that we'll get in order to have one last cup run. But that's why I think Dubas kept pushing off, doing those press conferences saying, well, we're pretty close. We got to see,
where we're at, how the boys are playing.
Yeah. And it all started unraveling and falling apart. And I think it was just like, and I think now it's like, it's obviously over. The trade is done. You saw that 2 weeks after the trade, everyone was still
shocked,
like annoyed about it, I guess. And it's like now, like everyone is, like you were saying, accepting the fact that the season is over, and it's like, okay, we're just gonna semi go through the motions here for the last, how many games we got? 11.
Yeah, and listen, in order for us to get in a playoff spot, we're more than 5 points out. We got to win at least more than half of these games.
Yeah, we got to do,
I don't know,
something like the Nashville Predators, 14-0-2 in the last 16.
Yeah, and they're in a playoff spot. I think they're coming in a wild card for them.
No, they're number 1 in the West.
Really? Who am I thinking of then?
They're 14-0-2 in the last 16 games.
Who am I thinking of, though?
I don't know.
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was Nashville, but they were in a bad spot before. Maybe this was a month ago. Okay, yeah, I don't know.
They haven't. So quickly, they haven't lost in regulation since like the beginning of February. This run started when they were in Las Vegas. They were in Vegas playing against the Vegas Golden Knights, and they had an off day, and they were going to go see U2 in the Sphere, and the coach said, "Nah, let's not do that." And because they didn't, they've been on this run, 14-0-2.
So what we need to do is ban U2 in Pittsburgh.
Well, they have a residency in Vegas. No one's going.
No, I know.
They stay in Vegas.
I'm just saying, even on their phones, don't listen to U2. They're the problem.
Do people still listen to U2?
Like, no, but iPhone doesn't implant their songs on your phone anymore, so that's good.
Oh, thank God, yeah.
Remember that?
They removed
Remember that, young people?
Okay, but here's the thing. Like, here's what's so annoying with that. It's like, okay, if you're gonna just put them in my phone, keep them there. Like, they're already there. Just because I'm annoyed that they're there now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, there was so much backlash from it. They were like,
the deed is done. I got free songs. Just let it be. Now it's done.
Well,
like,
now,
you know what I mean?
Apple removed any unverified music.
I'm so pissed about that.
There were so many songs we downloaded from LimeWire
that I've had for a decade.
Which you can't find anymore because
I had
whatever the case.
I had over 1,000 songs. I now only have like 40 songs on my phone.
This is why Spotify's better. But
yeah, no, I know. That's all I use, but I'm just saying it's just so, yeah, but whatever. That's what got them going. We need something like that. But we're not going to get it.
About the old iPhones, Apple. What was it? Apple Music. It wasn't called Apple Music. It was the iTunes.
It was iTunes. No, it's just iTunes.
So good. And this is when the Penguins were good. So I think, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Go back.
Oh, like
take me back.
07 to 11. About that.
Yeah.
About that era.
Give me that time. Give me my iPhone 4.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me those days.
The 3S, right? The 3 or the 3E.
It was the 3GS. 3 because it was
3G. 3G.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah. I think it's something like it's
was
one
it
letter.
3?
I think it's one letter because then it was the 6S.
Well, that was something Siri. The S was for Siri or something.
Siri, when Siri came in, yeah.
Wasn't it the 4?
6.
The 4S?
Was it the 4S or 6S?
I think it was the 4.
Whatever.
It doesn't matter. Penguins were good at the time.
Yeah.
Remember the days when we got back behind the scenes footage and the Penguins were playing their PSP on the plane?
The airplane?
They were playing Call of Duty together. Man, take me back to those days.
Andy Bernard. I wish we were in. I wish you
knew you were in the good old days.
Yeah.
Before
they're the good old days.
You know when it's the bad times. You don't know when it's the good times.
Yeah.
So right now is a bad time. We're all aware of this. But man, would I give money to relive that feeling of that double overtime against Ottawa? Midnight, scoring, double overtime. Sidney Crosby passes it to Chris Kunitz. I wish I could understand the ramifications of that. But
I understand that series, like the way it finished is so like memorable, but like the Cup series for me, both of them, 16 and 17, are more memorable against the Sharks and the Predators.
Well, I would say hindsight, like you said before, hindsight's 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So during the Predators, you look back, you're like, man, we dominated the Predators in that Stanley Cup. We dominated. The real challenge was 16's Cup. Yeah. Because Martin Jones stood on his head against the Penguins.
Well, the Sharks had a good. I mean, that was a legitimately good team.
Yes.
Legitimately.
Pavelski, Joe Thornton, Brent Burns. That was when they were.
Brent Burns,
Yeah, he's now in Carolina, but at the time they had all these guys.
Yeah.
And
that was on Brent Burns' come up, not even his peak. He was
he was coming there. Up. He was at his kind of peak.
Louie, that's 8 years ago now. Oh. Brent Burns is not 40. He was on the come up. That's what I'm saying.
2016 was like what, 4 years ago?
Yeah, it's 8 years ago.
Take me back.
Yeah. Well, I was just talking about that with Lauren. Like she's like, because like our youngest is now a year old, and like we were saying, like, where'd that year go? And I said, where did the 13 years go that we've known each other? Like, I feel like we're still like newlyweds, but you got to take a step back and be like, nah, like we got 3 kids.
I've been in Pittsburgh for 2 years, coming up on 2 years.
But doesn't it feel like you just got there?
I just moved here.
Yeah.
I just moved here. Yep. No, I've been here for 2 years. And that goes by so fast. We've been married for 4 years.
Yeah.
That's unreal, you know?
Yep.
Ugh. Time moves so fast. Penguins stink right now.
Yep.
And it's tough. It's tough. We have a rough. I just want the season to be over. Like, that's kind of where I'm like, you see an animal suffering and you're just like, put it down. Just put it down. But yeah. Well, let's put this episode down because it's suffering, nice. Josh.
Good segue.
Thanks. Our next game is Sunday, 2:00 against a good hockey team. It's the Colorado Avalanche. Nathan McKinnon. We're in Colorado. 2:00 start. I like that. I like that 2:00 start. So we'll go live after that game. Feeling good. But yeah, get ready for another loss.
Yeah, that's what I thought. There we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, get ready for another loss. I'm not expecting us. And Nedeljkovic is starting. I don't care. Nedeljkovic should start. Just start Nedeljkovic, okay? Mike Sullivan, start Nedeljkovic. Penguins are going to lose. I feel like, you know what? Put your score, your guesses of the score in the chat. Josh, what's your guess? We're losing, obviously, but what's your score?
3-1.
I'm going to say 2-0, us getting shut eye. I'm going to say 2-0.
I almost did it. Yeah, I was going to say 3-0, but I was like, let us get
I
a
feel like
weird
2-0.
bounce.
It's going to be one of
3-1.
those games where we actually play well, but we just can't score because it's the Colorado Avalanche. So I feel like we're just not going to score. It's going to be a good back and forth game. They're going to get one. We pull the goalie at like 5 minutes left to go in the game, and they get the empty netter.
Oh, wow. You think it's going to be an empty net? See, I think it's going to be Colorado takes the 3-0 lead into the third, and we get one in the third. And like,
most likely that's how it's going to go.
Yeah.
But no. All right, let's see if those come true. Sunday, 2:00, Colorado Avalanche. Be there. Get ready for a loss. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for joining us on all platforms, whether you're live or listening later. We appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one. And Josh, as always,
let's go Pens.